So next, I just want to talk again generally about the application process. Every year we begin to review applications in about October. We start to receive them as early as September 1 of any given year. Our suggested deadline is May the 1st. However, we operate on a rolling admissions basis. So that means we'll review applications as they come in and until we don't receive additional applications. Our hard and fast deadline is August the 1st, so that would be the latest that you could submit an application for consideration any given year. Keep in mind, if you apply before January the 1st, your application fee is waived. So that's a benefit to you, especially if you're applying to a number of different schools. If you apply after January the 1st, then the application fee is $40. Again, keep in mind that our process is completely paperless, so you must apply online. Any documents that you send in must be submitted either through the LSAC or through an electronic attachment that you send directly to our office. And we, again, operate on a rolling admissions basis, so that pretty much means that we don't have a set deadline for making decisions. We make them on a weekly basis and send out decisions on a weekly basis. I also want to talk just a little bit about the components of your application file and what it takes to complete an application. So the first 5 bullet points you see here are all required components of your application, and the last 3 bullet points are all sort of suggested or optional portions of your application. So again, not to rehash, but the completed application form is your electronic application. The application fee will either be waived or you'll pay it once you're ready to submit your application. We require a personal statement. We don't really have sort of a topic that you must speak about when you write your statement. It's really general and open to you. We suggest that it be no more than 3 pages in length. And then we often have questions about what you should write in your personal statement. So a personal statement is just that. When you think about all of the information that you've submitted, we have your letters of recommendation, we have your transcript, we have your LSAT score. The personal statement should provide a new piece of information in the process for the committee to consider. It's viewed as a writing sample and sort of as your first opening argument, so to speak, to sort of persuade the committee to choose you or to select you for any given entering class. Your resume is also a required piece. I won't go into great detail on that, but there are some specific pieces of information that we ask for. Online, you'll find application instructions, and it actually lists out all of the items that we look for within your resume. But it's a great place for you to sort of tell us about your activities, tell us if you're working and what you're doing, as well as any community involvement that you may have. And then finally, we talked briefly about it, but your CAS report, so all the components that were in the previous slide are included in one sort of neat package that we receive. And those are all of the required pieces of your application. In terms of optional portions of your application, we do have a set of optional essays, and so there are specific questions that you can choose to answer. Again, they're not required, and those answers should be, I would say, no more than 1 to 2 pages in length. We also will accept what we call addendums. So addendums are primarily used for pieces of information that don't fit neatly into any other portion of your application, but you may feel like there is something that you need to explain within your application. So oftentimes applicants will use this to explain extenuating circumstances that you may have that you want the committee to consider when they're making a decision, as well as explaining, maybe a lower GPA, a lower LSAT score. Also, we require an addendum if you mark yes to any of our character and fitness questions. So those involve any criminal background that you may have. None of you have it. If you've had prior law school work, if you filed a bankruptcy, the questions are very detailed. And so if you mark yes to any of those questions, it's very important that you provide a detailed statement about that.